Hey, Sooner Nation, welcome back to another Champion Standard podcast. We have a full throttle, all speed, no break show today that I think you're going to look forward to. We are going to jump into the receiver room and not come out for a little while. So if you like receivers, this is your podcast.
For the next 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah,
that's all we're going to talk about.
That's right.
More receivers, and more receivers.
Yeah, please like, comment, subscribe. You can see our social media down there, and go visit our website, championstandard.com. You'll find a lot of content out there, and our prior 20,000 podcasts that we've done already.
20,000. I think this is what, 13 or 12. I don't even, man.
Something like that.
But yeah, on that website, you can find a dashboard out there and a depth chart, and we're making moves on our server. I don't know if I told you yet, but Ed has gotten it all squared away. So now,
really,
yeah, like he made some big headwinds, man. We're gonna try to have a matchup predictor here pretty quick here, probably the next couple. I don't know if we'll have it.
Yeah,
I don't know if we're gonna have it at the beginning of the season, but we'll probably have it like mid-season. But I mean, it ain't bad for, just we're in 2.5 months in on this little project that we've got. So yeah, we'll keep adding to it, and I'm working on the dashboard. I'm got a lot of other stuff to dive into, and there's a bunch of receiver data out there. If you guys want to go take a look at, we'll probably get into that here later in the next couple of weeks. So a lot of fun stuff.
Yeah,
always free.
Exactly. This receiver room's probably the most loaded room on our team, so it's just one we kind of wanted to highlight and take a really deep dive into, and
yeah,
we'll bring up some things that are pretty exciting. Just a depth and other things in this class, the speed. We'll highlight some of that stuff here in a minute, but this is a deep class. It's just got a lot of skill, so I'm looking forward to these guys showing up this fall.
When your fourth and fifth receiver could start for pretty much all your opponents on your schedule, you might have a pretty good receiving core.
Yeah, I've heard two or three other podcasts talk about this receiving core and say, if the first string gets banged up, that second string can show up the next week and us not see a huge drop off, and have a lot of confidence in going out there with second. I hate to say third stringers, but I mean it's deep and just all kinds of talent across the board.
Yeah, when you have a Nic Anderson who, as a freshman last year, came out of. I mean, for me, it came out of nowhere because he didn't have any prior experience. He starts his first year, and all the kid does is just score touchdowns. I mean, he was a red zone nightmare for defenses. He was so tall, so fast. He's got that catch radius. He works well with his quarterback to get open, and he's just scoring touchdowns. And then you get in some deeper into the season, and he's screaming downfield, running posts behind people, and you got him coming back, and you go into off season, and you add a free agent with Deion Burks, who is completely underutilized at Purdue. Come in, and he ends up on the preseason All SEC team. He's considered one of the top 6 receivers. Really exciting time. This group looks one of the best receiving rooms I've ever seen OU have. You have to go back to like CeeDee Lamb and Marquise Brown, which was really special. And then before that, you probably have to go to maybe Broyles and Stills.
Yeah.
I mean, and then before that, I mean, it wasn't. OU had a single guy like a Mark Clayton or a Jermaine Gresham, but not, but it was. But having like
one-offs,
just the one-offs, of course. OU will always have a number one, It's a great program, but having 2-3 guys, and then you turn on the tape and you see how Farooq is beating guys, and you see Jayden Gibson, and we haven't even gotten into one of the best recruits that we got last year, 2 years ago in Petaway.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's so much talent, it's unreal. So that's why we decided, we're gonna really get our hands deep into this and really peel it back layer by layer.
Yeah.
It starts with Emmet Jones, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that guy's everything he's touched has turned to gold since he stepped on campus. Just bringing guys in, developing the ones, Jayden Gibson wouldn't be the player he is today without Emmet coming in and developing him. We both remember him as a wily-eyed freshman coming in, and was having a hard time, securing the ball or route running or whatever it was. And the guy's just a difference maker now. That 6'5" frame that he's got, he's going to be a big red zone threat for us again. But yeah, and we do have a couple of guys that are still recovering from injuries. They're expecting Anthony could be ready by the start of the season, but they're not rushing him back from his ACL. And then Farooq had a foot injury, and of course with the receivers, those probably take a little while to recover. You just have to kind of nurse those, but they're expected to be back. But obviously with the depth that we have, we don't have to rush them back, which is nice.
So are we ready? Are we ready to dive into the danger zone?
Yeah. Hey, before we dive in, I kind of want to mention our sponsor again.
Okay.
Yeah. Woodworks Distillery. If you want some local distilled bourbon, whiskey, gin, vodka, did I leave anything out? Please visit Woodworks up on the north side of the metro. David Wood and his staff have done a great job, have a great environment, just a nice place to go chill out and have some bourbon and listen to some music. And Champion Standard podcast may be there someday, so that's a good reason to go there. So go see the guys at Woodworks, and they'll take care of you. And I will say, don't go there on an empty stomach, because you're going to get the flights. There's nothing like getting a good flight and just sampling everything there, but make sure you eat a little bit before you do that. So
they don't skip out on their portions on that flight too.
No. Yeah, it was good.
It's really good.
I stick to my bourbons and whiskeys, but I enjoyed the gin and the vodka as well. So
I picked up a bottle of the vodka for the wifey, and she liked it a lot. And I don't know what it is about it, but like, it smelled really good. Like, it's like I'm geeking out, but it smelled like really, really good. Like even a goose or a kettle it just smells like straight like alcohol, like rubbing alcohol. But this one, it had like a lot of notes of like flower and lavender and stuff. It was really cool place. We're going.
Cheers. I got my whiskey now. So
you get and when you buy a flight, you get one of those glasses.
That's right.
Something to mention there too. Anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you're making me more thirsty, so we better jump into this wide receiver room.
Well, you saw this bottle. I mean, I need to find another bottle of bourbon, because it's getting kind of low. Anyway, are we ready? Ready for the danger zone?
We are ready for the danger zone. Yeah,
let's
buckle up, everyone. Buckle up.
Your obsession with me. Seriously, Lana, call Kenny Loggins, because you're in the danger zone. From Top Gun.
Just be careful.
No.
And I won't lie to you. This mission will be dangerous.
Would you say we'd be venturing into a zone of danger?
Well, yes, obviously.
No, but I mean, how would you phrase that?
The zone will be one of danger?
No, I mean, not if you'd say the thing. Forget it. Never mind. And you never mind, and also shut up. I think I know how to spot a tail.
Is your phone on?
What? No. Jesus. What kind of wallpaper are you thinking about? Because I think it needs a text back.
You don't want to be
Awesome.
driving. You don't want to be driving when that song comes on, man. That's just asking for a ticket.
Yeah. So what do you got for us today, Brad? What is this? What are we looking at?
Well, yeah, we've talked about the depth chart, so I just took a snapshot of the wide receiver depth chart. Well, I went and did some searching on the 40 times because you and I have been talking about how fast this receiving group is, and I didn't realize how fast it was until I started pulling these up, and I was pulling up from some 4.46s, 4.43s, which is fast. But then I got to Brendan Thompson and the Zion squared guys that run a sub 4.3, which Raggins, I'm really not sure. That had to be a clock because there's not anything else really that could clock that for him at 4.23. Just blazing fast. That's some world class, like Olympic speed right there. He ought to be running the Olympics next week with that speed.
Yeah.
But yeah, this receiving core, and I sorted it by the fastest to the slowest, which a 4.65 is not slow for a 6'5", 6'6" receiver, by the way.
225 pounds.
Those guys are built for size and reception, not speed.
Yeah.
But that's still moving. But yeah, we got our depth chart pulled up here so we can reference these guys, and we brought in Deion Burks, and he's got the speed, but the guy's just got the playmaking ability, in open field and stuff. So that's where his speed comes into play. Just that,
short area quickness, short area burst. So turn on some of the tape that we watched, and he can do the CD magic trick where you can see 4 guys around him, and poof, he's no longer there. Right. And he's off. So I mean, like, I just call it the CD magic trick. Going back to that Texas highlight, which is always fun to watch. Seeing him just avoid 4 tacklers and score a touchdown. Burks, that 4.46 is like lightning in a bottle. So on the football field,
right? Yeah, we got nine sub 4.5 guys. So guys that run a 4.49 or better, which is impressive in itself. Brendan Thompson, he's more of you just want that guy running these fly routes, just that straight ahead speed. We saw it on display 2 or 3 times this year. I know him and Arnold hooked up once in the Alamo Bowl, and that was encouraging, and a couple more times this year before he got banged up a little bit. So it's sometimes all about health with those little guys. They're fast, but if they do ever get hit by one of those 230-pound safeties, that can keep them out a couple of weeks. But KJ Daniels, another freshman, 3 of these top 4 guys are freshmen.
That's wild.
Yeah, so
that's wild. That's serious freaking speed when you're breaking that 4.4, and you're even just getting that 4.3. But KJ sitting there at 4.4, man, that's moving, man. That's moving.
Yeah. And I like what Emmet Smith's done too. You got guys from Florida, Georgia, Michigan, Louisiana, just Maryland. Not to mention the Oklahoma and Texas guys that he's bringing in. But Emmet doesn't have any boundaries on his recruiting. He can get a guy from anywhere and get him in here. I think he's got. I don't even have the 4 or 5 guys that we have committed, for the 25 class listed on here. These are all the guys that are on campus already. So,
so interesting you brought that up, because it looks like we're going to lose 4 off this list. Andrel Anthony and Farooq and Hester, and then most likely Burks to the NFL.
Yeah,
so
and
the majority
chance,
of the room will stay the same.
Nic Anderson's kind of iffy.
It's great. He's getting national recognition, and he's on those draft boards, but that is really early for really early for a guy to make a jump to the NFL. It's a little bit different. Those defenses, those corners are just as fast and as big as you are. So,
Yeah.
I mean, my suggestion would be come back, get bigger, get
Right.
stronger. But yeah, he could jump.
Yeah. But yeah, you're right. Got 4 leaving, got 4 or 5 coming in, and and still have plenty of depth here on the team.
Yeah.
When those guys go out. So
the other thing that I see on this list, not just how the speed and even where some of the places that Emmett's going to recruit these guys, they're all very different, which is really, really good. I mean, you look at Texas and the guys that they brought in, Isaiah Bond and Matthew Golden and some of the other guys that they've got, they're all very similar in body type. Where Emmet is like, yeah, I want the Ivan Carry-On, the 6'6", 220 guy in my room. I want the Zion Raggins, the 5'8", 4'2" guy. Like having multiple body types, multiple routes, different things you can do with them. It gives you more tools in the toolbox when you're going week to week, playing against different opponents. You can attack them in different ways. Nic Anderson at 6'4", Deion Burks 5'9", like short area quickness, tall and long. Like this is like the quintessential room that you would want as a coach, because you can when you're going into personnel groupings, and the sky's the limit on what you can build out and attack your opposing defense with.
Yeah, and I was just glancing on my phone at the 25 commitments, and yeah, it just adds to that versatility you talk about. With Choice coming in, Cortez Mill, Grayson Harris, all those guys, it just adds to that already, versatile room. And I know I've heard it from Emmet, and I've heard it from Luttrell and these other offensive coaches. They just like the idea of having players that don't fit one position. They like the guys that they can move around. It keeps defenses off balance a little bit, and and it also doesn't pigeonhole the receiver to thinking he's just kind of this, oh, okay, I'm just a slot guy. If he can show some versatility and move around in the offense, I think that only helps his draft cause and ability to play, really, when it boils down to it. So
yeah, and the other thing is when you've got a diverse skill set like that, you can take a guy like Zion Raggins and get him on the field to run in a personnel grouping. You're going through a season and you're like, hey, let's get some jet sweep stuff, right? Instead of running it with Gavin Freeman or with Stoops or with Deion Burks, let's spell Burks for a series, and let's get Zion Raggins out there to run this, knowing that he's got crazy speed. We know he can run this and run this now, and we don't need to practice it a lot because he's done it in high school. We'll have him come in, run these 6 plays, spell Burks for a little bit, get him some O2, and you know what I mean? Like, it's different. Like but if you had a whole roster of 6'1", some of those guys can't do it. Some of those guys can't do the same things, even though they're the same frame. But this is the versatility on this is wild. I haven't seen an OU receiving room like this before. The way that how Emmet has done with his 3 years now of building his room out. It's man, I am so excited for this group. That's why we're gonna spend the next week or two diving into it. So
yeah, and the guy at the bottom there, Ivan Carry-On, he can move over to the tight end slot on occasion too, just with his size and frame. I know they kind of recruited him as a that wide receiver tight end kind of combo.
Emmet would have to give him up though.
Yeah, I know.
Emmet's gonna recruit him to stay.
Just another way for him to potentially see the field. Like you said, if you're giving a Bauer Sharp or a Jake Roberts a breather, you can look like you're throwing 4 receivers out there and just move carry on in there, close to the line and use him as a tight end. So it's perfect.
Right. So like you get into the red zone, carry on is 6'6", he can jump, right? He can high point the ball. You can create little sub packages for all these different players, and you don't have to really practice it a lot. It's limited time in practice. You get him in there for a few reps, he runs with the twos. Now you got a sub package in the red zone with Ivan and like a Nick and with like a Jayden Gibson. Imagine that. You're a defense and you're short. You're going into a game and you're a short corners and you got short safeties and they don't have a lot of tall, long corners. And then you throw a red zone package with Carry On and Nick and Gibson. Like, how do you defend it? You don't. You can't. That's where we'll get into later. The mismatches that this receiving core, the ability for them to go short, fast, and speed to tall, long, and I can jump. Oh, dude. And then, or just even mix matching it all on the field. It's pretty wild that, we haven't seen something like this. I haven't seen it where it's this deep.
Yeah, no, I think we definitely have the ability to exploit some secondaries with our wide receivers. I think that'll be every week going into those SEC games. We'll look at matchups. Who has the best matchups here, and every week we're going to be like, hey, I like our wide receivers against so and so. Everyone but Georgia. We're like, oh, we got a nice matchup there.
Man, no, I have something to say, but it'll probably have to come in a couple episodes from now. I'm not ready to say it just yet. But other than I am super excited for this receiving core. It's truly been something built by Emmet, and he's definitely taken the time to get the right guys, and he's got this great room rolling. And I was gonna say, let's turn on the tape and we'll start looking at some stuff that I've got on them.
Yeah, no, Emmett's been if he hasn't been the best hire since Brent's came along, he's right up there. Especially on the offensive side of the ball. Emmett's just really
well, you know how
guys.
All the other opposing teams, they're pretty envious of what we've got on our coaching staff. They wouldn't be if they weren't trying to poach them every year. Whether it was Bates and Emmet and Valai and Brandon Hall, all getting calls, DeMarco, Beatonbow. I mean, they all got calls over this offseason to, get poached. And no, they didn't stay. They didn't move. They stayed. This is all Andrel Anthony.
Andrel.
Man, there was a note. I guess there's notes on TFB and OU Insider and others that are saying that, there was a hiccup and then now he's back and he's working himself back. If this guy is ready to go, if Andrel Anthony is healthy in fall camp, even if he's limited, even if he's just being slowly, like you said, we don't need to hurry him back, right? We don't. He's a proven commodity. Like, he's fine. If he's limited in fall camp and then play, and starts before Auburn, not even starts in Tennessee, before Auburn, and then you go and you have a bye week and you go to Texas. This receiving core is insane with Andrel Anthony and Burks and Nic Anderson. It is absolutely filthy.
When you got these Texas highlights that are playing here, he was having a great game before he got hurt.
Yeah,
he was having a nice game. Him and DG were connecting a lot, and then he got banged up. And
the amount of speed between those three guys is so much pressure on a defense vertically. It's that you see all these plays with Andrel. This one's a good ball to Nic Anderson, but you see, if you go back to these Texas highlights with Andrel Anthony, he's doing this on tape right before Texas, and then he gets into Texas And he's just running all these simple stick routes, or he's running these little quick outs because they're sitting there. They don't want to give up the big play. DCs, they don't want to give up the big play. They much rather you nickel and dime them. And that's where he was like this little stick route. I mean, he was just making his living. Simple catch, first down. Simple catch, first down. This is going to be, if O-line protects, Arnold processes, this could be like a death of 1,000 knives, because DCs do not want to get beat over the top. So if they start putting a big old umbrella, stuff like this is going to happen, where little stick route, 8 yards, easy pitch and catch. Now you're looking at 2nd and 2, which opens up every play in the playbook. But if Andrel Anthony and Deion Burks and Nic Anderson could be the best 3-receiver combo, it will be the best 3-receiver combo in the SEC, period. Like, it is not even close. You know, what Missouri have their Luther Burden. I like Luther Burden a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But this receiving course is filthy, man. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy good.
Yeah, they are. They're something else. And I know Nick had some, I don't know if it was this year or the year before, had some crazy efficiency numbers where he had, 10 touchdowns on, I don't know how many receptions, but it was like a touchdown every 3rd or 4th reception. It was something crazy.
Yeah, I remember that. Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, he's hard to handle, just size, underrated speed. Just, he's got enough speed.
If the O-line protects like that last play, 5 seconds, these receivers are going to get open. And if they protect for 4 or 5 seconds and Jackson Arnold finds them, because they will be open, it's done. It's over. Like, you can't, unless you're going to sit there and as the safety, you're going to have to push that hard deck so far back, and you're going to open up the middle of the field, the intermediate part of the field, then you're just going to die by 1,000 cuts, because we'll just keep nickel and diming you and moving down the field. So, yeah, Nic Anderson was a big surprise for me last year. I didn't realize how dang good the kid was.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like you said, like, he was averaging like a touchdown per reception or something. Every three catches was a touchdown.
Ridiculous, yeah.
And here we go. Here's Farooq, our 4th receiver, on a fade on a stack. So here's a little stack. So we got a stack here. He's running, gets on the top. And Farooq is really good at running fades. He's really good at running those go routes, however you want to call them. He stacks his corner all the freaking time, man. And a lot of times DG just couldn't hit him. He just couldn't hit him. In the Oklahoma State game, Farooq beat his guy 4 times off the line. And each and every time, DG underthrew the ball. And I got the highlight of him, Farooq, having to come back to the ball, use his back shoulder to kind of box that corner out and get the catch. And and Farooq, here he is again. I mean, this is your 4th receiver, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hopefully we don't have to force him into some of those running back roles that he had to do the past couple of years under Levy's system. I like the ball in his hands, but I just want it in space, not necessarily up by the line and stuff.
Farooq could be on Auburn, South Carolina, Ole Miss.
Best play of the season right there.
Yeah, right. Farooq could be on like 4 or 5 of our opponents and be the number 2 easily. And he came back. He loves being a Sooner, and he going through the 5 or 6 games over and over again. I love Farooq's game, man. I love how he is tenacious as hell. Like, he does not want. Here's the play I was telling you about. Mm-hmm. So he beat his guy 4 times. 4 times he beat him. And here's another underthrown ball that Farooq has to stop his momentum, put his shoulder into the guy a little bit, and get the catch.
Yeah.
And here's Anderson, who's just running a little skinny post. Too much speed, man.
Need to get that extra separation there on those guys and score. Hopefully he can take a 10th off of that 40 speed and get down there with those 4-4 guys at some point.
Mm-hmm. Now this core is going to be awesome. I cannot wait to see it. And when it's, Death Star is fully operational and you got Anthony who's healthy, Arnold's going to have all the talent around him here's Jayden Gibson now. Jayden Gibson, BYU was like, oh no, we have to worry about another 6'5" guy that's screaming downfield, not just Nic Anderson.
Yeah.
And here's Farooq just making people look kind of stupid.
Hmm.
Yeah, well, and what a story of Gibson, man.
Yeah, I know.
Sticking to it.
Yeah.
Staying.
Yeah, he's made, if there's like a progress chart, he's definitely had the biggest uptrend ever since he got on campus of anybody. Just the way he's improved.
So here's one right here.
Yeah.
Yep. So missed opportunities. That's what I'm saying, man. Like
that was
Gabriel,
freshman quarterback there that got a little excited and just kind of overthrew him. That's all.
Yes. Yeah. No. Exactly. And what else happened here is a receiver beating the hell out of his corner. Little stutter step there. You see that?
Oh yeah, that was
he
broke his ankle.
He faked the slant because again, when when Levy Arnold comes in, he started running all these like little quick short stuff to Farooq, and what do they do? Okay, we're just gonna run this little stutter, fake the slant. It's not necessarily a sluggo because he actually stopped and then went inside. Or went outside.
You stop it back right. Stop it where you had it. Yeah, down at the bottom of the screen, you could tell it was really forcing the defenders to have to make a decision. There was Stoops, Anderson, and someone else, and we had them spaced out, 10 yards or more, and yeah, they just didn't know who to cover. Right there. I don't know if you saw that at the bottom of the screen.
Yeah, so this.
Yeah. It's easy for me to say. It's hard for you to get it right on the.
So he's on the outside. He's running a dig.
Down at the bottom, you got Stoops and Anderson, and then you got someone else coming across the middle. And watch those guys down. Watch the play down at the bottom of the screen here. How those defenders just didn't know who to cover because we had such big gaps down there.
Yeah, so Farooq's coming on the outside. He's coming over here, and he's running a dig. And I'm not sure what Anderson's doing. But so here's Anderson running a dig, and then here he's the spot route. Yeah, but Farooq, and here's the stutter step. So take a look at Anderson right here. He's going to act like he's got a little stutter step, like he's running a stick, and then he's going to go. Stick and go. And then he beat his dude. Beat him good. But no, this and like that's the thing, man. Like, this is my favorite play of the year. Arnold rolling to his left, his non-dominant side, and then to Anderson to the back of the corner of the end zone. Like, this is not this is not an easy play. Like, this is an NFL play right here. So Anderson's working into the inside, and he's trying to wrap and run this corner. And he sees that his route was probably like this to go that way, but he saw that his quarterback was rolling to the left, so he broke it and then went to the corner and caught it. That's a crazy play, man. That's an NFL play. That shit doesn't happen between two freshmen. And here's that Brennan Thompson bomb that you were talking about earlier. So what's happening here is that this is halftime, and this is the opening drive of the second half, and Arizona runs the crazy amount of cover 3, a lot, like 60-ish% of the time, and they don't disguise it. They're not secret about it. We were getting eaten alive. Arnold was throwing picks. He's not used to seeing safeties be able to cover grass that much. A single high safety. He'll have to learn how to look them off. But we go into halftime, and the adjustments that Littrell makes is, one, we're going to run the quarterback, and two, we're going to send vertical routes, more than one. If they only got one safety out there, that means we need to send more routes than they can cap. So here's Brennan Thompson. All he's running is he's going to run on the hash and then just stab and go inside. It's a kind of like an elongated post, and there he is, just open. Guy, and that's his corner. That's not a safety. And that's it.
Great game for Arnold to just get some reps and that live game experience, and just kind of let it rip.
Yeah. Yeah, there's Farooq. But yeah, this core is going to be damn good, man. I'm just excited to see it and get the recognition it deserves as a great core, a wide receiver core. So
probably the deepest in the conference would be my guess. If they're not, I don't know who would be deeper. There's a lot of SEC guys that graduated this year, with the Texas guys, and a couple other teams had some people graduate. Yep.
Yeah.
So come on, offensive line and Jackson Arnold. You have all these weapons at your disposal. It's up to you to get them the ball. I think it'll be a case too, if some guys got the dropsies, this isn't the team you want to be doing that on, because we got plenty of other guys to,
right.
Be glad to step on the field and, take your snaps. So
yeah,
I guess unless his name's Deion Burks, I guess if he drops a ball,
yeah, we're gonna take a dive into Deion Burks. I think that man is a special football player that deserves his own episode.
Yeah.
Well, let's do him next. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I like it. Yeah, it's a good run through on these guys. Just most versatile group in the conference has to be,
Oh, absolutely, it's up there. On our opponent's schedule, like if you're looking at our opponents, which we'll go into that in the next episode, dude, like it's good. It's really good. We'll dive into that here in another week or so.
Yeah.
Well, let's wrap it up, man.
You want to wrap this one up? Yeah, no, it's good. Good dive into the receiving. No, great. Please like, subscribe, follow us. You can see our socials down there at the bottom. Go to our website. Appreciate you listening again. Until our next podcast, take care, and Boomer Sooner.